have to see it on a big screen because there's so much happening in the frame at every single moment. You could look anywhere and you're seeing a whole, you know, this whole tapestry of madness.
Was it a deep tissue massage you were having?
Where are you going with this, Graham?
Weren't you having a Turkish massage or something?
I don't know what it has to do with what we're talking about. But
it's a funny story, tell it.
I had an awful experience having a Turkish massage where this guy's idea of massage was to, like, take my one leg and the other arm and try and connect it behind my back. And I was kind of like, you know, like that. And then well, his belly went in my mouth.
Oh. It was like a little Borat moment.
And you know when you get something weird in your mouth and you're like, if you're eating something, you go like, your brain sends your tongue to figure out what it is? It's not a conscious thought. It's just like, is that a bone? Figure that out. Your tongue goes in to figure it out. My tongue was like, what is that? It's a hairy belly.
Sounds like you're heading off a newspaper story.
Like Dame Julie Andrews, you now have 2 Grammys.
Wow.
Yes. You performed them. Did you perform them?
I did, yeah.
So what is that? I mean, that must be so stressful to be up for awards and having to perform, and it's all live.
It's terrifying, honestly.
Must be.
And I only found out I was going to perform on the Grammys a week before the Grammys.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? I literally didn't have time to think about anything. I was just like, OK, I'm going on the Grammys. Don't mess this up.
So where's the Grammy now?
Oh, yes, good question.
It's at home.
Where? In the attic?
No. No, it's in my living room.
Nice.
Oh, both of them, right?
Yes.
Yes, you've got both.
I do.
Are they beside each other, or are they bookends?
No, they're next to each other.
No, they'd be lonely otherwise.
They would be really lonely.
Yeah. Who wants one Grammy? You did some great characters on Saturday Night Live. You're Justin Bieber.
you.
Your Justin Bieber is spookily accurate.
Thank you so
Look
much.
at that.
Incredible.
Like, that is incredible.
Thank you so
and
much.
you've done it in front of him, haven't you?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't?
Have not breached
the
wall yet. I met him before, because he hosted SNL once, and then that was before I started doing an impression of him. But I was so struck by how, this was before he got really beefy for those Calvin Klein ads, and now he looks like, you know, a big beefcake. But he was very delicate and very tender, beautiful, just such a beautiful face, and such a big, big hat, and such big clothes, and just the most beautiful, and I am a huge fan of his, and I love it.
Now, you have a special way of preparing the face, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes, you want to look as though you've done something wrong, but like, it's cute.
That is very good. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, before we do another thing, is there a doctor in the house? Why, yes, there is. Dr. Will Ferrell.
Wow.
Since you were last here, who made you a doctor?
The University of Southern California, which is my university in Los Angeles, and I received an honorary doctorate. They say it's honorary. I think it's for real. I've performed 13 successful surgeries since and 100 that didn't go so well. So I have a lot of malpractice issues.
Oh, yeah. But at these things, you have to make the kind of the inspirational speech. So what did you tell the young people?
I hadn't been put in that position before, because usually I just make fun of things, right? And that's easy, but then you have to be earnest. And that was a difficult task. So I just told them to keep your feet firmly planted on the ground and reach for the stars. Which I read on the back of a cereal box.
But then your speech took a very unexpected turn, I feel.
At the end?
Yes.
Yes. No, I thought I would inspire the graduating class by singing a Whitney Houston song to them.
Which one did you choose, Will?
The theme from The Bodyguard. Yes.
I Will Always Love You.
Yeah,
lovely.
I Will Always
That's
Love You.
lovely,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
And now, apparently you sang the whole thing.
I sang... Well, I started thinking, do I just sing a couple of lines, or do I torture the students and their parents by singing the entire song? And I chose the latter.
Yeah. He's not joking. We have a little clip. This is just a tiny clip of you. Actually, can I just say, you're rather good.
Oh, thank you. And I will always love you. Will always love you.
Good, right? That's not bad.
Did you see me look down to try to remember the words?
Love you.
How did you cope and keeping that thing on your breasts?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm watching that going, is that going to stay on?
It was...
I mean, that is a costuming feat.
There was a lot
magic.
of, slips, but that I am, like, even in that scarf thing that we're calling a dress, I am still probably the most clothed person. So, honestly, we were also desensitized to nudity very quickly.
In real life, how long were you at that party for?
Oh,
that's you crowd surfing.
That is, it was, It was me crowd surfing. It was so fun.
So we get why it's called Babylon now, right? Clearly.
This is like the G-rated version of that. I mean, the party is insane.
Yeah.
Damien, I mean, he's such a visionary kind of director, but there's an amazing, extraordinary one in that party scene where you kind of meet all the different characters, and it's a huge ensemble cast. You've got Brad Pitt and Diego and, Gene Smart, and you've got a chicken stealing someone's cocaine and running off, and you've got stunts, you've got someone falling from the ceiling. So this is all being timed with, like, this crane movement, and we're not shooting in studio, we're shooting, like, on location, so it's even more difficult, but so much is happening, and you kind of get a glimpse of everything. It's the kind of movie where you have to see it on a big screen because there's so much happening in the frame at every single moment. You could look anywhere and you're seeing a whole, this whole tapestry of madness. But doing those one-ers and knowing that you don't want to be the person that makes you go again.
Nicola Coughlan, talking of romantic gestures, you were obviously very young. Now, you loved a boy.
Yes.
And he lived in Cork, was it?
Yes, he did live in Cork. I'm mortified because he's going to know exactly who I'm talking about. I was only 5. Please keep that in mind when I continue this story. I was really in love with him, and I thought for some reason the most romantic thing I could do was to send him some of my teeth. You'll never look at me the same, will you? I wish this
Some of your first teeth.
Some of my milk teeth.
Yes, I was going to say, some of your
sort of,
first teeth.
I
love you.
Yeah, wrote him a letter and thought, very romantic gesture, very eye-catching. They'll never forget you if you send them your teeth.
the cutest thing I ever...
How old was he?
Also 5.
I feel like...
was he 36?
Who knows? Who knows?
I feel like he'd have thought somebody had kidnapped you and it was a ransom note.
Yeah.
Please, Mummy, help us save Nicola.
Or that he was something, the tooth fairy.
I really couldn't tell you. It was just an I've mellowed out since then, thankfully.
Claudia Winkleman, she started the event. What's wrong? What's happened over here?
I clapped the pearl out of my ring, but it looks like a tooth. I'm just gonna get that borrow this as well. I don't even own it. Oh well, we'll stick that.
If that's for me, I'm not interested, love.
Do you feel a connection to Russia? Because you are Russian, properly Russian.
Well, I'm half Russian. My mum's London,
Yeah.
West Ham, actually. So I'm properly West Ham as well.
Yeah, more filming in Russia.
So, yeah, my dad was born in Russia, yeah. He came when he was 2 years old, grew up here, but he was born in Russia, yeah.
Because your name, I mean, you were born with a proper Russian name, which I can't
Mironov,
say.
yes.
Yeah.
Mironov,
And
yes.
Ilyana?
Well, actually, Helen, but Ilyana is a Russian version of that, yeah.
And I heard you talking about your household, that it was quite Russian growing up. Like, there wasn't... apparently Russian, I didn't know this, there's not much small talk.
No, you don't have small talk in a Russian household.
So what do you talk about?
You talk about the soul, and you talk about, you know, is there God, and you talk about deep philosophical stuff. So when I sort of grew up and left home, I found it almost impossible. I would have found it impossible to sit here and not talk about really heavy stuff, you know.
We'll get to that. Well, we will, yeah.
When I hosted it, it was a bit more... doing a great job, but we went a little deeper than this little talent.
What a time to be Kingsley Ben-Adir. I mean, honestly, just well done you. It's amazing. It's all happening. And what's amazing, so you went from, you know, the classic kind of, you know, working British actor. You had a recurring role in Vera, Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
But, you know, and people do that, but then you've gone on to play these big American icons. You know, Barack Obama in The Comey Rule, and then Malcolm X in One Night in Miami. So I suppose for any British actor watching this, how does that happen? How do you make that? Did one person see you, or did you go out in America and just wait? How did it happen?
I don't know. I feel like the last few months has been really trippy. I feel like, you know, shooting Barack and then working with Regina, it happened so suddenly. It was such a whirlwind, and, you know, I had just a couple of weeks to prepare, and someone had pulled out, and there wasn't really much time to sort of, like, think about it. It was just like, shit, you got to crack on and dive in and just get on with it. It's only sort of as the films come out and we're in lockdown and, you know, It's been a bit intense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, like, Americans must be thinking it's so weird when they see you on chat shows because they have no idea that you're English.
Well, I've never been on a chat show. This is the first chat show I've been on. So, I've never been on a chat show before. And
OK, this is weird. Reggie John Page played you on Saturday Night Live on last Saturday, and you have never been on a show.
That was so trippy, man. Someone sent me a link to this thing. I woke up on Sunday morning and they were like, "You've been mentioned on SNL," and then I clicked it and I was like, "Is this guy from Bridgerton doing an impression of me on like mainstream American television?" And then he mentioned, like, I think he said, like, "Yeah, I'm from Kentish Town, innit?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's obviously like what I sound like." Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been in Kentish Town my whole life.
Oh, wow.
Much, yeah.
So, well, Americans, he's British. There you go. Yeah. Now you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome WWE superstar John Cena!
That's good.
John Cena sucks!
Here we go.
John Cena sucks! John Cena sucks! John Cena sucks!
Hey! That's my life in about 20 seconds.
All right. That's your intro song. Over the Ring?
Oh, yeah. And tens of thousands of people will say, "John Cena sucks." So every night, go out with a smile on my face and told I
And the
suck.
more you put your hand there, the louder they get.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Even in the reverse, too, if you act like it doesn't get to you, they know they're getting at you. Yeah. There's no way around it.
Doesn't every wrestler has a name?
Yes, and people think that, like, "Hey, man, how'd you make up the name John Cena?" I was like, "No, dude, I would have made up, like, Dick Hammerbush or something cool like that."
Not Dick Hammerbush.
Or something, I don't know. That's a start. No, we can move from there.
No one's letting you go out with that, no. It seems like the business part of your brain was developed quite young. Like, you were a little girl and you were quite business savvy.
Yeah, I was quite savvy as a kid. I would, like, steal my brother's toys and sell them on the side of the road for, like, an extortionate price. Or I would make up magic tricks and then make my family pay to come see my magic show and then pay extra if they wanted to know how I did the trick.
That's a really good idea.
All the time.
You would pay extra to find out how they do the
Yeah,
things.
well, once you get them in, I mean, they're already there. They already paid their $1. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ryan, you were also a young entrepreneur, weren't you?
I wouldn't say that, no.
But didn't your father... What did he wanted you to sell? Was it cellophane he wanted you to sell?
My parents came upon a truck of cellophane somehow. I was asked not to ask too many questions. I didn't. Suddenly there was a basement filled with cellophane, and they encouraged me to go to school and see if I could sell it to my teachers or put a few in my backpack and try and hawk them at recess, you know? Convince kids that they might be good stocking stuffers for their parents.
What are the uses of cellophane? How did it go?
What do you mean, what's the use of cellophane?
I know the name, but I don't know what you do with it.
You know, you wrap sandwiches in it, it keeps things fresh.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. It was an important question. You needed to ask it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a good job of selling it, obviously, but...
Did you sell it?
There's still some left if you're interested.
Well, now I know it keeps things fresh. I want some.
It would be nice if someone... The dream was someone would just say, I'll take all of it. Never happened.